250 years ago today, interesting stuff was going on in Philadelphia. Let's talk about it in today's shape. 250 years ago, there's all kinds of stuff happening in Philadelphia. And what's neat about that, 17th of April, no, what is today? 17th of June, 1 year prior to that, 17th of June, 1775, was the Breeds Hill, Bunker Hill incident. Our first armed encounter with the British. 1 year later, in Philadelphia, they started debating the Articles of Confederation. In other words, the how these 13 colonies are going to be ruling themselves. This is the first really big step before declaring independence. Now, they had already passed a resolution. Well, it was passing. Not all the delegates had voted yet, but it was a foregone conclusion that we would probably be talking together in one voice among 13 colonies, that maybe it's time for us to break things off between England and us. There were 52 men in Philadelphia. It was quite a scene. Now, when we think about Philadelphia, and if you've ever visited Philadelphia, Independence Hall is in a kind of nice part of town. It's well kept, but in 1776 there was dirt streets, and it was hot. There was no air conditioning, and there were these guys getting together and talking about and making decisions about this country we have. 10 years ago, for me, I got involved with the local theater presentation in 1776. And that was a musical portrayal of what kind of things were going on in Philly with all the players. Now, of necessity, they trimmed things back and they changed things around a little bit to make it interesting. But the basic facts were still there. And you had a lot of what we'll call alpha males, or really smart people, all used to being the smartest guy in the room. Now they're in a room with 51 other smartest guys in the room. Running this country. It was all rather broadly put together, and they were getting real specific with these Articles of Confederation. That would establish how these individual states would then work together. Rules like Georgia couldn't send a delegation to France. That was all handled by the central federal government. And establishing the name, that's one of the first things that happened. We're going to establish But the name of this experiment is the United States of America. Yeah, that's kind of key to the whole thing. If you have to establish an identity as a country, from there, once you have an identity and you have a name, it gets all kinds of stuff started. And that's really, really important. Oh yeah, what was my role in that? I played a character, Colonel John McKean, from Delaware. You know, he wasn't the loudest voice in the room, and from the script, he didn't have a lot. It wasn't a very big part, but in the larger arena, McKean was quite a guy. He did an awful lot. He was the governor of 2 states and a judge. Those are all things that I learned about him as I was studying my own lines. Funny how something like that will spark an interest, and it kind of did for me. That's a big part of why I'm talking to you today, because I just enjoyed that so much. And I hope you find interesting things about history, or if you just enjoy talking about this kind of stuff while I'm shaving, which today is with a case red imp. It's been has a different handle here, but the steel is still very, very nice. It's a full hollow 5/8 razor, and we used the spike stick. This had been missing for a while. I found it in a box where it should not have been, but this is a nice travel soap. It's small. It fits in the medicine bottle, and this is enough soap to probably last 6 months if you are judicious about it. Great shave today. Let's see how this worked out with at the Allen. Oh, magnificent. And I did this without stropping the razor. I probably will do that now after we're done to kind of clean it up and get it ready to put away. And while we're here, might as well just use the Spike aftershave. Might as well go matchy-matchy. This is good stuff. So, we have a year. We were at war for a year, as far as we were concerned. The British didn't know they were at war in 1775, and they're about to find out in 1776 that we were serious about it. And we'll talk more about that in coming shaves. Thank you so much. I'm Major Rich. You can find me at theshavingcutter.com. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. Please leave a like, subscribe if you're so inclined, leave comments below of anything you want to talk about, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.